What's up everyone, Nethervvoid here with another new game for you today, Istrolid. Really awesome game that just popped up on Steam. It's in beta right now. One of the cool things right off the bat, it's free. It's free, dudes, so go check it out. There's no reason not to. I just saw it and I'm playing it. I have not been contacted by the developer or anything. I've actually been playing this like 3 days nonstop, just can't get enough. It's pretty fun. So what is this thing? It's a shipbuilding multiplayer game. There are also single player campaign. It's also based off money and strategy. It's kind of interesting. So first we're going to look at the shipbuilding design aspect of it, because I think the other parts are not really. This is the first part you need to know about. So first we're going to go. So this is the design area right here, and you can see a bunch of different ship parts and stuff. They all cost money, and when you put them all together, that's how much that ship costs, as you can see over here. This is just a scout ship. It's 34 bucks. That's real cheap in the game. Let's go to fleet. This is where I have all my builds. Okay. I'm going to put this back because I'm actually going to talk about these in a little bit. But this is where I save all my builds. And you can just bring a ship down and then put it in the designer by clicking it. This ship's $352. So basically when the game starts, when a multiplayer game starts, you start with $2,000. Your ships can only be up to $1,000 a piece. So if you look at like this ship, I don't know, this one, it's 955 bucks. It's pretty much the max. Those are considered kind of like battleships in this game, okay? And there are a lot of different size ships, a lot of different purposes for the ships. Again, this game just came out May 14th, so they're doing a lot of work on it still, a lot of balancing. There are no ladders yet or any kind of matchmaking like that. But we'll get to all that, and they're going to put that in. I just wanted to show you the designer. So let's start with that blank design here. So basically what you're going to do is these are weapons. We got energy sources, right? You got to power your weapons. We got mobility, which is like thrusters and wings, which I know wings doesn't really work in space. Space, you don't need wings, whatever. Just suspend your disbelief here. Let's say it's not in space. How about that? Anyway, wings help you turn. Thrusters also obviously help you go in one direction quickly, right? Then we got armor, and we've got shields, and also a cloaking device. And then we've got, these are DLC paint job stuff that you can, if you help support the game, you can use this paint job stuff. I think it's like $10. It's real cheap. But anyway, those are the basic components of the game. So I usually start out with my weapons, because to me, what weapon you choose is kind of is really probably the biggest choice you're going to make with a ship. And so let's go with an 180 mounted turret, I guess, and we'll put a torpedo launcher on it, which is missile. There are a bunch of different kinds of weapons. There are point defense to shoot down missiles and other projectiles, such as artillery shells and other things like that. There's the plasma ring, which shoots a really high damage ring at an enemy. The thing is, the range is really really close. So let's take this guy off. Let's talk about a few things on here, on the different stats here. So if we're looking at this plasma ring right here, you can see the one thing you can't see. Well, I guess you still can see it. The one stat that goes away is this. This is going to drain 800. Well, I guess you can look over here. 800 energy per second out of my ship when it's firing, okay? But if we look at the other attributes, it's 10 hit points, adds 10 hit points to my overall ship. So my ship's at 21 hit points right now. It weighs 20 tons. Now that factors into how quickly your ship moves, right? The more tonnage you have, the more thrust you're going to need to move your ship around faster. It does 20 DPS, and it is 100 damage per shot, and that's why I'm saying it's mainly a one-shot. It doesn't one-shot ships, but it's mainly a one-shot and get out of there kind of a ship. And the range is really short at 230 meters. You'll see how short that is in the game. That's like right in your face. And it fires once per every 5 seconds. That's really slow. The projectile moves at 560 meters per second. That's pretty fast. Pretty fast. That's pretty nice. And it's 4,000 energy per shot, which is quite a lot. These are pretty specialized, the plasma ring, but it's a pretty neat little setup if you can do it right. So these things down here are bonus modules. When you connect these to a turret, it adds that stat to that weapon. So a lot of people I see that run plasma rings run these overchargers, where basically it's 30% more damage and then 50% longer reload. So you'll see like the hex is a pretty common setup where you hex mod your weapon, right, to get the maximum benefit from that weapon. So remember, before this thing was doing 100 damage per shot, it's now doing 482 damage per shot, which is for some ships that'll one-shot it. For a lot of ships, it's like 3 of those shots will kill that whole ship. And so what you'll see, and I've seen this before, is a guy will do this. He'll have basically this thing triplicated, right? He'll have 3 of these set up on a ship. He'll, run into someone's face, and no, that's not correct. It's like that. And he'll one-shot him with 3 of these shots to the face. Okay, then he'll get out of there because he's got a 12-second reload, which is ridiculously long. I'm not going to build that ship because that would take a long time. Clear, okay. There's another thing you can do in this game, which is pretty neat. So anyway, let's just go over the different kind of weapons. They got missiles, point defense. This kills missiles and stuff. It also can kill small fighters. Plasma ring, which we just talked about. Artillery gun, which is a really long-range, slow-firing weapon, which is pretty neat. But again, point defense can kill these shells, so it's not that effective in my opinion. The plasma turret, which is really right now, in my opinion, the most overpowered weapon because it has no defense. You can't do point defense against it, and you're just going to get hit by it. It's fairly slow firing. You can kind of escape it a little bit, but it's a pretty nice weapon. Light beams are awesome, but the difference here is because light beams can also not be countered with point defense. Problem is, this is 250 meters. This is 720, so that's a lot different. I can stay out of range of other people's guns if I use the plasma turret. Heavy beam, kind of the same, except this does have a 500 meter range, which is kind of nice. The difference here is, again, 220 meters is still pretty significant, and it doesn't do as, I don't know. The beams are pretty good. I just feel like I have to get too close to use them sometimes, and they take too long to kill people. I can't fly away, really, because you have to keep your beam on target, right? These I can fire and forget. I fire them and I can fly away. Heavy flak, this is mostly useful against fighter-type people that try to swarm you with a bunch of fighters, because one of the stats of this guy, let's just put this on there so we can look at the stats, is it has an area of effect, so it blows up an 150 meter area, which is pretty big for a single shot. So it's nice against fighters. Then we got the EMP gun, which drains energy out of the enemy ship, which is kind of interesting. I've tried to use a few setups with this, and can be pretty effective on ships that are running a really tight energy type of a setup, where they're firing a lot of their weapons and they're short on energy all the time. Basically what you can do is lock them down so they can't fire back at you, which is kind of neat. I haven't been all that successful because it has a really long reload, but it's a pretty interesting weapon to try to mess with. Then we got the phase bomb launcher. This does a lot of damage in one hit, and it has a nice area of effect of 50 meters. The problem with it is, when you fire it, it sits there for a couple seconds and makes a huge sound so everybody knows about it, and then it takes a while to get to its target, and people can just move out of the way because it's not guided. Artillery and phase bomb, not guided. They fire into the spot and people can move out of the way. Phase turrets, same thing. I think phase rings are also the same. I'm sorry, plasma rings. Missile launchers, these are guided missiles. I think these torpedoes are not guided. Pretty sure, but I'm not positive on that. We'll have to look at in-game. Then we've got the auto cannon, which is pretty cool. This fires 5 bullets. This is really good against fighters as well. Most fighters have a really low amount of hit points. Sorry I have to keep pausing it. I'm clearing my throat because I've got this nasty, I think it's allergies or something, but it's really messing with my throat. Let's pull in one of my fighters that I sometimes use. As you can see, 29 hit points, not a lot of hit points. So if this guy, each bullet is, I want to say 15 damage or so, it only takes 2 hits and I'm dead. And this thing fires like in a cone, kind of. So this is also a really good anti-fighter setup. I'm probably going to use that instead of heavy flak. Heavy flak's good because it also shoots, again, fires at missiles. So that's also a nice thing. I don't think the autocannon does that. The Tesla turret is kind of neat. It will hit other ships in vicinity, and I've actually seen it go pretty far. People set this up with the distance mods to try to get hit guys that are clumped up really far away. It's fairly effective. It just doesn't do a lot of damage. And the reload is a little bit high, and the energy drain is really high too. So I haven't seen very good setups with that yet. Gravity pull wave. This is really good for ships that are kind of getting in your face. They don't want you to be able to run away, so they'll load these. It pulls your ship toward, pulls their ship toward you, so you can kind of get in range of like these, light beams that are really close range but high damage. This is the opposite, gravity push. If you're a sniper type ship and you want people to stay away, you can use these to kind of help you out. It can keep people at range, especially these big battleships, which there's nothing to fix here, buddy. The larger battleships move really slow. Let's just pull in like my old missile boat that I don't use anymore. This guy, he weighs a lot. Let's see. 1,200 tons. It's a lot because, and I don't move very fast. 107 meters per second is really slow. So for a sniper with this gravity push, I'm probably never going to be able to get in range. Luckily, I have a 1,700 meter range on this thing. I don't need to get in range. I am a sniper boat, so it's fine. We got the warhead. This is really good for kamikazing ships into other ships. And let me show you what that looks like. This guy goes here, I think. I've got this guy in my main setup right here. And I just fly that into ships because it does 120 damage per pop. 25 damage. It also has a 210 meter range. Oops, sorry. I can't see it over there. Which is pretty awesome. It also can help against like little swarms of fighters, but typically this is used for big battleships that you're having a hard time taking out. The shaped warhead does not have a detonation range. It literally is to blow up larger ships. The thing is, though, those ships can kind of get out of the way or whatever. And so this is the better alternative, I think. Most people use this because of the detonation range, and so it still damages ships. It can also damage huge clusters of ships if people are clustered up really bad and get a lot of damage on a lot of ships. We already looked at this long-range subsystem here, plus 25% range, plus 25% reload. Overcharge, we talked about that as well. Reloader is just 33% more reload speed. Which is really awesome. I use this on a lot of ships. Speed coils. This makes your projectile move quicker, which is really good. I think almost imperative for like artillery boats, and missile boats can help with missile boats as well. Any projectile-based boat, it can help a lot. Phase bomb is also probably another good one, although I've seen a lot of good use with reloader with the phase bomb. Oh, no overkill. This is kind of nice if you're firing it. Sometimes people will fly a fighter in front of your missile boat to trigger all the missiles to fire off and drain your energy and stuff. If you have no overkill connected to the turret that has your mounted missile or whatever, this will only shoot off a couple shots and then it will stop firing because it doesn't want to overkill the target. The problem is if you run in a hex setup. So let's pull down one of these hex setups here. Let's use this guy. There's nowhere to fit this overkill, right? You have to pull off one of these hexes. Generally, it's just not as necessary. It doesn't happen that much, and so pulling off one of your hexes to do that you lose a lot doing that. So we've talked about the weapons. That's really the main part of the game. There are two different kinds of energy systems here. We've got batteries, which just have energy storage, but a lot of it, right? And we've got recharging. So these guys have some battery capacity, which you can see with the little energy thing right here. But they also do recharge at 400 per second, which is pretty awesome. So you're going to have usually a mix of these is the best bet. Then you have the energy transfer. This is kind of neat. You can get energy transfer ships. I do have an energy transfer ship in my main lineup. This is my main lineup down here. Let's put these back. This is not part of my main lineup. So I've got this energy transfer ship, and I fly it in to help recharge my ships after a big fight to get them up to speed really fast. Have high thrust and high energy use weapons, and then I recharge over time. I try to blow up some enemy ships and then skate away and kind of hide out for a few seconds or something like that to recharge. So I use a recharge ship to do that. So you can see I have a lot of rechargers on there, reactors. Then I have a big battery in there, so I can help recharge my ships. Then we have thrusters. There are a lot of different kinds. But you have some that give you decent thrust and don't pull a lot of energy, like this one right here. The thing is though too, to get up to 14,000 thrust here, you need about what, 6 to 7 of these guys. 6 to 7 times 35 is like 300 or 400. This is 145. So there's some differences here. There's a lot of cool complexity here. Okay, just don't stick the one thruster on and think, oh, that's the only one to use. Why would I use anything else? Because there's a lot of things to consider. The cost, the thrust, how much energy is it eating per second. Those are all different. It's going to affect your speed, right? So there's a lot of things to consider with thrust. Most players I see don't take any of that into consideration, it seems, because, well, let's just put it this way. The game is really new, and that's why this is a great time to get into the game, because you can learn with other people who are also learning, and probably if you're any good at games, you're going to dominate them within a day. My first day, I was killing guys, like, easily. Now I can take on 3 guys at once and probably kill them all. Because I know how to play this game, and I know what's good right now. There's a meta to every game, and right now, to me, the meta is fast snipers. And I'll show you that in a little bit here. We're going to get into a game. I know it's going to get long in here. I just wanted to show you all the different things about, in building a ship. The wings, same thing here. Not too much of a worry here, though. You can see I've got some pretty fat wings on here with a lot of turn speed. You don't really have to worry too much about different kinds of wings. You get pretty good benefit all around here. Let's move on. Armor is going to slow your ship down a lot. It has a lot of tonnage. It does have hit points. Armor is pretty cheap. But the problem is your boat won't move very fast. And then you're probably a sitting duck. You cannot, like I was talking about earlier, good luck dodging this plasma turret. It's going to hit you. You can't get out of the way fast enough, and there's no point defense that will help. So you just take it right in the face. There are lighter armors that are still pretty good. You can see 2 tons instead of 20 tons. It costs a lot more, though. That's the thing. This is 5. This is 20. So there's that to take into consideration, too. This is cheaper armor and also light, but again, less hit points. A lot less. So it really just depends on what you're building. I generally never add any armor to my ships. I probably should. This is really cheap. I probably could add it to my main ship and get a little bit more hit points. 8 hit points is really not much, though. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem all that worth it to me. They also just have, like, cool little parts. Like, they look cool, right? If you add this, it kind of looks neat. You'll get some mirroring here, so you got a little bit extra effect there. It's not really that big of a deal. It just kind of looks cool. So you'll see people, like, add these to their fighters and stuff as, like, a little antenna and things. Then we've got shields. These are pretty neat. They're very, very costly. What I like about them is it's kind of armor that regenerates, if you think about it that way. So I like that. And it's got, looks like 100 hit points. That's kind of neat. 100 shield. And it regenerates at 8 shield per second. What I would like to see is a shield generating ship, which pops a shield around your ship. You can fly off, use up the shield, and come back. That'd be kind of neat. But again, they're creating new modules and stuff. I'm sure over time they will create more. If you look here, you're getting a little bit of loss with money here, right? This is double the shield as this, but this is not double the money. Also, this weighs more though. Look, it's not 40 tons, it's 50. So there's a lot of things to consider. Cloaking generator. This can cloak ships. I see a lot of people use this on when they create those bomb ships. These like little bomb guys. They'll put a cloaker on it too, so they can fly in without you seeing them and blow you up. Again, decals, we talked about this. You just paint over each square with these decals. It's kind of neat. I don't have that, but whatever. So let's talk a little bit about, let's get into a multiplayer match. We'll talk a little bit about different things in here, though. The campaign, there is a single player. You can see I've started it. Basically, what you do is this teaches you the game. Definitely do this first if you're just joining the game, is get in here and start learning how to build ships. This teaches you how to build ships and how to fight with your ships and how to fly around, and etc., etc. I can't get out of this. Why not? Can I escape? Nope. Okay, well, okay. Let's just build this. So you build this, then you get into a match, right? I'm just going to go menu. I don't care about that. Well, I guess we can just show you a little bit about what's going on. So let's build this ship a couple times. I start out with some money there. And I'm going to take these guys, I don't know, this direction. Well, let's take all of them because that's like a big bruiser ship, right? So you don't want your ships flying into a line. Let's bundle them up a little bit here. We want all the damage to come in at the same time. I see a lot of people doing that mistake. I don't know why some of these ships are faster than the others. I think because they don't want to fly over the top. They're all bunched up. They don't want to fly over the top of each other. So let's get all the damage in at the same time. All the DPS in one spot. And boom, I didn't even lose a ship. So we'll take this over, and then what I'm going to do is build a few more ships and send them over here. You can also unqueue by right-clicking. You can queue up stuff. Let's right-click to send them, and then right-click to send these guys. I don't know why the enemy's not moving those ships out. This should be a no-brainer. Let's try to fly around that. Oops. Ooh, it does do some prediction here. Let's just get DPS on target, and he's dead, and I win. That's the basic premise of the game. When you capture all these areas, you win. You don't need to capture the spawn-in point. Usually, I don't know why they're not flying these out. But anyway, I win, okay? Continue. So it gives you, it unlocks parts as you go to kind of teach you what each of the parts do and why you would use them, and it makes you better at the game, honestly. But in the multiplayer, you get access to all the parts. So if we come in menu, let's go back to design, fleet. Let's get these out of here. I don't need this. If you want to delete something, just get in here and clear it. It'll delete it. So let's go put my setup back in here. I'll show you a multiplayer game real fast. Then we'll talk about some ship design a little bit so you can get a flavor for what the game's like. So I'm going to search for a 3v3 game. I think I like 3v3. It's my favorite. But 3v3, and there's nobody in there. It says it's running. That's not true. Oh, it is. Okay, just there's some lag there. And, wow, it's really loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. I thought I turned it down a lot. Settings, sounds. There we go. Let's just turn that down. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. Alright, go back. So we're going to get into this game. This is who's playing. You can see there's an AI in there. Right? If you don't have enough people, you can fill it with AIs. The host can fill it with AIs. The host is just randomly chosen. And I think it's peer-to-peer, so I'm mouse wheeling in and out. You can see people have different colors. My color is just randomly chosen as green. I think you can change that. I didn't really care. I just kept it. So these guys are out of energy. He's out of power. He doesn't have a lot of power generation on this ship. Not enough. He's got a no overkill mod. That's probably good. These are kind of cruisers about. Maybe fighters / cruisers. That's the AI ship, I can tell. Looks like they're pushing these guys back pretty good. This guy has 2 plasma turrets. Yeah, I figured he'd die pretty quick. This guy's not using hexing. He just has 4 mods right there. Also, these 2 mods are sharing these 2. These 2 weapons are sharing those 2 long distance mods. These 2 are not being shared, so this guy's a longer distance than that guy. You can see it by clicking it. See the inside? Oh, he's dead now. These guys are really getting dominated. I would destroy this guy, though. He's hexing, which is good. This is a nice artillery setup. It's got a lot of reload on it and faster shells. The thing is, I could probably skate all around that, and all these missiles would be hit by my point defense, so this is a better build, I think. Well, he's got point defense on here, too. These are unmodded weapons. To me, that's waste. I don't know. Right now, they're getting schooled because they're not flying around, right? I can kite these guys. Let's go back. I'm going to jump in this. I don't have my setup, though. Let's get my fleet set up here. Alright, I'm all set up. And it has begun. So I'm going to start off with 2 of my battleships over here. I'm going to fly them out in the middle here. I'm going to do one of my scouts. Pop up scout. There he is. I'm going to fly him over to... Yeah, that'd probably be good. Well, he's already doing it. Let's fly it over to here. That guy only has a battery. I'm going to do one of my rechargers next. That's a $639 ship. And again, we're going to talk about ship design after this. But this also gets you money. The money coming in is affected by how many of these squares you have. So once I get this, I'm going to fly up to this one because nobody's capping it. Get out of there because we're about to get shot. See, I got out of the way. That's nice. So I've got my recharge ship. Let's bring it in. Not too worried right now about what's going on in the center here. Probably could move up a little bit. My guys are snipers. You can see how fast I move. I have sniping battleships. And I have plasma turrets, so you cannot... Okay, this guy's out of energy. Let's come down here and pop him in the face a little bit. See my point defense take out those missiles? And he's going to get out of there because he knows he's going to get jacked. He's getting hit. And he's out of energy again. I like to make people pay for that. But I think first let's move up a little bit because my guys don't have... I don't like to fly too far out of here. Let's go over here and maybe jack these guys up. I can go this far away. These guys are out of energy, so they should be pretty easy. Let's get in here and just pop them a little bit. Should get it. Oh, nope. Didn't get a kill. That's interesting. Thought for sure I'd get a kill. Okay, I'm running out of energy. I gotta get out of here. The problem with my ships is they consume a lot of energy when they fly around, so I need to recharge. So I've got more than 1,000. I'm gonna pop up another battleship. Basically, this game is all about attrition too. Don't lose your ships. You want to not lose your ships. Uh-oh. This is not good. See, he's going to try to drop a bomb on me. Good luck, buddy. I got to move back a little bit. The front line is moving. Move! Oh, there's lag. The host is lagging. That happens a lot in these kind of games, and then I basically can get jacked up because of that lag. Now, as soon as I recharge, I'm going to fly in there. I don't know why this is taking so long. I think it's because I ran them all out. Plus, there's lag. This is definitely lag. Usually the host doesn't lag this bad, so I don't know what is going on. Another battleship. I can also just queue these up. Well, if there's not lag anyway. Man, this thing is lagging bad. See, now there's 8 in there. Actually, let's not do that. I want another recharger. Alright, so it's about time to go kill some dudes. I'm just kind of worried about lag, really. So he's probably going to die. Get out of the way! So I got hit right there, but not too bad. Let's see if I can get down here and hit these guys. I'm not too worried about his missiles. There we go. That should kill one of his dudes. Yep, got one of them. Oh, no, I didn't, did I? So this guy... Again, more lag. Come on, man. This host is bad. This lag is killing me, man. Usually the game does not lag this bad. That's the only problem with peer-to-peer, is you got people with bad machines trying to host games, you know? And that's going to get me killed. Definitely that is going to get me killed. Let's get another battleship. But now with the double recharger, I should be able to do a lot more bombing runs. These are kind of like bombing, like fighter bombers, kind of. So there's another one. I usually get up to about 5 or 6, and then I'm basically one-shotting dudes. I'll fly in one round to just kill people. This guy, whoever this is doing fighter tactics. But your ships die kind of quick when you do that. You can see... Watch, he's going to lose his ships. So again, some lag, really making it tough on me. Keep following me, you're gonna die. He's trying to dodge. He just lost 2 of his ships, although those aren't really expensive ships or anything. So this guy, yep, he's dead. Do you see my point defense will also shoot at other ships? I'm starting to lose energy. That's bad. Let's bring these guys in. Help me out. I should have another battleship coming in relatively soon. So let's get everybody back to here, probably. Again, lag. Come on, lag. Jeez. This is a bad host. Like, seriously bad. It usually doesn't lag like this. And this guy's dead. Yep, he's getting hosed. So this is pretty much a game. The thing is, this is a really unorthodox game. There aren't that many battleships on the enemy side. Battleships being like $1,000 type ships. He's dead. We're gonna get in here pretty soon and get that guy. I need to move my base of operations though. I'm gonna go for another recharger after this. I got too many ships to not have another recharger. Let's bring it down this way. I want to kill this guy. So I'm gonna just chill out a little bit. Alright, let's get in here. Luckily, my, yeah, let's get out of here. This guy, oh yeah, let's go get, now he can't run. He's gonna lose all his ships. And I took a couple to the face, but this guy's going to die quick too. Now we got to get out of here. This is too much heat. Let's fall back a little bit. And I think that one's going to hit me because I couldn't get my point defense in there good enough. And I'm just getting shot in the face by that guy. Let's back it up a tiny bit more. Let's get that other recharger in here. So this is where I got to separate out my ships again. I want my rechargers in the back. Kind of hard to do that when you got lag, though. So you can see this guy's taking some damage. He's pretty hurt. My ships don't have a lot of hit points. So he's going to try to come in and get a sneaky sneak on me, but I have all this point defense, and now he's probably going to die. Because that's a lot of DPS coming in right there. Yep, and he's dead. Let's get another battleship. So this is where attrition is a big deal. Like, we can push this guy back big time. I don't know what this guy's doing. Those are all point defense. I have no idea. But as you can see, they are losing their ships. And slowly but surely, we're going to be able to push them back. And we have an AI on our side that's basically crap. I don't know if they have an AI, but probably. Let's move my rechargers down here. Yeah, let's get that guy killed. See how I'm doing overkill here? This is bad. But that's okay. Again, I'm not worried about these because my point defense, which I have on the front of my ships there, will just take them out. So now I'm going to do my typical. Watch this. This is my typical. I'm going to fly in. I'm going to bomb this guy. Now he's got a lot of missiles, right? Just get out of there. And he's probably going to die now. There, and he's dead. See? I didn't lose anything. Let's get one more battleship. Let's queue up another one because it looks like we're going to be able to get another one. This guy is literally doing nothing. It's me and the AI. What the hell? So here I am again taking on 3 dudes. That guy's going to die. I think that's the AI on their team because why would he fly right into this? But whatever. So I've got how many battleships now? 8? This is more than I usually have. Probably need another recharger soon. Oh, I got 9. Okay. I don't know what this guy's thinking. He's going to fly right into that, huh? See how he'll fly away like that and drain your energy out? But that's okay. Let's get in there and dive bomb this guy. Let's go in for the kill. So I just come in, fire my weapons, and get the hell out of Dodge, and he's dead. Pretty much nothing's going to stand up against me now. Because I have too many ships, and they have too much DPS. This game is going to be over soon. Let's come in here and get their last bastion. Again, I don't care about missiles. I'll come in here toe-to-toe with them, I don't care. Don't move around a lot. See, when I move around, it takes up a lot of my energy, so I gotta watch out with that. And go! Lag! Jesus. Alright, got another recharger. As you can see, it's really about mobility. Let's move up a little bit. We can get closer now. We have everything but that one last bastion. Let's move up a tiny bit. I'm just going to start shooting at this guy. I can shoot down his missiles. I don't have any problems with that. There, all his guys are going to die now. Recharger, he's out of the way. But that's a big drain on my ships. So that's why these rechargers are all out of energy, because they've been drained out. So now the enemy's capping the last point, and we're going to win the game, basically. It's a pretty sweet little game. Everybody is a little bit different. So you can see actions per minute recorded. Units that I produced, I think, 14. That's pretty normal. We got a lot of money because we had more caps than the other guy. I feel like the cap should be a lot different. Let's leave this game. I feel like the money should be higher the more of those you have, because they're not that important, which is kind of unfortunate. So anyway, that's pretty much how multiplayer works. It's pretty fun, especially when you get 3-on-3 without any AIs and stuff. The AIs can be okay, but most of the time the AI is not very good. It kind of depends. They have easy, medium, and hard AIs, so sometimes they'll put a hard AI in there, which is really sucky, because they dominate the game too much. But that's pretty much how you play this game. Let's start talking about ship design and why I basically killed those guys right in the face. So one thing you can do as well, which I didn't show you in that game, but let's say you're in a game and I can actually test my ships out by going to multiplayer, local test game, right? I can add an AI, so let's add an easy one, Yarky, I guess, and start the game. So let's say I'm in here with my battleships and I'm having a great old time, and Yarky's just got an insane ship. I'm just like, Yarky, this ship is amazing. I love it. I want this ship. I can just click that ship, click an empty spot, boom, copied. Now, there are a lot of people who are kind of pissed off about this because they work, like I spent a lot of time perfecting my ship, probably like 4 or 5 hours, perfecting this one ship. And to have someone come in and copy it kind of does suck. But at the same time, I copy people's ships too, and it helps me get better at the game as well. So it kind of is what it is, right? And everybody has the same option to do that. So you can see I've copied a ship. Let's go back to design. Let's look at that ship. It's $317. It's got some armor, not enough energy probably. But movement doesn't cost a lot, right? And it's only 192 energy per second to move, and it's regenerating at 400, so it's fine. While it's firing its weapons, it's 2400 per, but it's got a decent battery, I guess. But again, it's only $317. That's cheap. I can make 6 of these when I first start the game, because you get $2,000 when you first start a multiplayer match. 147 hit points, pretty low. 236 speed, that's decent. Mine are like 340. 73 degree per second turn, not greatest, but not bad. This is a decent ship. Does not have boosted weapons, which I think is pretty bad. But again, for 317, you're not going to get much, right? But anyway, that's what you can do. And that's what I've done. Let's take my main lineup off here so we can get the slots. And I'll delete that guy in a sec. So here's some ships that I've copied. And I'll tell you how my design ideas kind of fluctuated, okay? So this is basically from lowest to best that I was kind of checking out. So let's go with this guy. I copied this ship design a couple days ago. It's got massive DPS. When this guy flies into your face, you die. Pretty much that's how it works. It's got some hit points at 14. That's actually a pretty good amount of hit points because it's got a lot of armor. It's dreadfully slow. It's dreadfully slow, and the range is so-so at 1,000, okay? These torpedoes have a 1,000-meter range. If you look at the turret it's on, it can only shoot forward. Right when you turn around it, which it has a decent turn speed, but not too much, you killed it. It can't fire at you. Even the point defense is all aimed forward, okay? These point defense are 360, but it's not going to help when you're shooting plasma into the back of this guy, okay? Bad ship design. I see this guy kill a lot of people because they just go face to face and they don't try to get out of the way, right? They're just my face into your face. I'll fly my ships right into you, and I'm just gonna, that's not tactics, okay? Fly around. Don't just fly right into the face of this guy. He's gonna win. Another good ship that I found was this guy. It's a little more balanced. It's got a little more speed. The turn speed, not so great. Better turrets because that 270 arc here, okay? So if you fly to the side of him, he can still shoot at you. He's got some point defense. This guy had a lot of point defense. But he's got some up close and personal, huge phase plasma bombs, which are awesome. His turning is not as good. But his thrust is a little bit better. I'd probably slap another thrust on here. The thing is, he's already at 1,000. Okay, reconnected. Okay. He's also has a gravity pull, which means he's going to pull you. I'm sorry, gravity push. He keeps people away? That's odd. I would make this a gravity pull because of these phase bombs. You want them as close as possible so they can't avoid it. His energy setup, I think, is a little bit better. This guy has mainly batteries. In fact, he only has one reactor here to recharge. This guy's a lot better recharge, so he can stay in the field longer. This guy's going to run out of energy right when all these things start firing. He does have a huge battery, so it's going to take a while, but look, it's 22K per second. It's not going to last very long before this guy's out of energy, and he's not going to recharge very fast, so he has one big shot, and then you can, if you avoid that, you're good. This guy will continue to fire. I've seen this battleship used pretty effectively. This one's also pretty effective, too. Again, all you have to do is fly around it, though, so I don't know. This is another decent battleship. It's got different types of weapons on it. It's got some heavy flak for fighters. It's got heavy beams, which are great. It's got some artillery for long range, and those are speed boosted so that the artillery fires a little bit faster. Point defense, gravity pull, so to pull you toward its main armament right here. It also has missiles which are follow the enemy, right? It's got not great thrust. 85 meters per second is not good enough. The turn speed's abysmal. It has just a couple of tiny wings on it. This is a bad setup as well. It has a lot of hit points and pretty high DPS. But again, it's hard to get people's face with 85 meters per second, okay? You'll never get in my face. Even with your gravity pull. You're never going to do it. I can pull away from your gravity pull because this thing only fires once every 4 seconds. So that's plenty of time for me to get out of the way. Again, pretty decent setup. If you look at most people's setups, though, this is good. Now we're looking at a little bit better setup right here. Well, it sort of is. The DPS is pretty high. It's got missiles. It's hexed, right? It's a little bit better on focusing what it's trying to do. It has some shields, which is good. I would probably take all these shields off and put more thrust because the thrust is bad. But for a battleship, it's decent. The hit points are okay. Again, the DPS is really high, though, and that's because he's firing 5 missiles per second. That's pretty ridiculous. The thing is, though, he's going to run out of ability to fire in like 5 seconds, so you don't have to withstand it that long. Now, most point defenses will not be able to put up with this. My fleet will probably be able to. It depends on how many ships he comes at me with, but I'll probably be able to dodge his missiles anyway because they're flying at 352. I'm almost flying at that speed anyway, so I can maybe get out of the way. I don't know. But that's a little bit better setup because he hexed one of his weapons, right? And that means his weapons are more effective. This weapon's much more effective than all these separate weapons that aren't really boosted. So that's a little bit better. When I saw this ship, I thought, oh man, hexing is really awesome. So I'm going to go for that, something like that. He's got a lot of point defense on here to counter his own ship, basically, in case somebody copies him, really. And just to counter, there's a lot of missiles in the game right now, so this is going to help counter the missile meta right now. Then I saw this ship. This is an adaptation of an enemy AI ship. And this ship is ridiculous. Once I copied this ship, I was unstoppable. I could kill anybody. This is why. 341 meters per second. I can get anywhere and fast. I can turn pretty good. Low hit points. I don't get hit, so who cares? Low DPS. All I have to do is get shots on target. You're going to die eventually. When I have 6 of these things coming at you, that's 240 DPS. So I'm going to take out one ship at a time and play the attrition game. 1,400 meter range. That's way better than these guys. 900. That's a pretty good range, but artillery, those are easy to dodge or shoot out with point defense. 1,000. 1,000, okay? I can outrange you every time with missiles. They will follow you. They heat seek, okay? The recharge, pretty good. Drain, not too bad. Huge battery. The drain on the thrusters is really high. Again, you've seen it in action, though. I just sit around recharge, right? I've got decent recharge on this ship. I can also build recharger ships to help me out. This ship is head and shoulders above any of these ships. Okay, this ship is a game changer. It's fast sniper. And you're going to win every time. I guarantee it. When I got this ship, I won every time. The only thing I didn't like about this ship is point defense kills off missiles. So I thought, hey, boom, let's just put plasma turrets on it. Very similar setup. You can see even the boosting is the same. 2 range and 4 reloaders. The battery setup, very, very similar. It's a slightly different battery setup, not much. This is basically this ship, but I wanted to put a plasma turret on it. I could probably put some armor on it. I've got 50 more dollars here because my hit points are a little bit low. But again, this was my first adaptation away from using missiles. This ship wrecked even better because you can't point defense plasma turrets. They fire a little bit slower, but again, you can't point defense them, so who cares? This ship's firing almost 2 missiles per second, but 4 out of the 5 missiles, or 3 out of the 4, are getting shot by point defense. So really, this ship's getting more damage on target. Okay, damage on target. That's DPS on target. That's the main thing. Just like tanks, just like any other warfare game, DPS on target is what matters. My range is slightly lower, but I found that it didn't matter as much because I'm a sniper. So I just fly in, shoot dudes, and then fly out, right? So it's pretty obvious. So then I thought, well, you know, why don't I make this guy cheaper by not putting as much recharge on it. I have recharge ships. I don't need recharge, right? I've got a little bit. And I've got huge batteries, right? The problem I found is, once I ran out of juice, if I timed a bombing run incorrectly, I had to slow boat it, really slow back, and I'd get taken out, right? So this was not worth it, even though I saved $200 that I could use toward more ships and stuff like that. I found myself either having to wait too long for my recharger boats to recharge me to take another swipe at the enemy, or I'd get caught out in no man's land and get shot. Again, the game's all about attrition. It's about saving your ships so you can get more DPS on target, because you can see when I have like 9 battleships, nobody can go up against me. Their boats melt. How's that possible? Keeping my boats in the game. So I adapted this guy, though. So I went back to this guy. He was my bread and butter. He's better. But I also had to have point defense ships in there. So I had this guy. And later I had this guy, which is a little bit better point defense. Okay? I'd fly this guy in front of my ship, and this guy could take out missiles for me. He's pretty cheap. He moves not very great. And he's alright, but low hit points, gets taken out pretty easily. Again, plasma turrets take this guy out pretty fast. This guy's a little bit better, more costly, keeps up with my fleet a little bit better, which is really why I got this guy. Recharges a little bit better. He's got some boosted point defense as well, which is nice. Range being the biggest one probably. So I was flying this guy in front of this ship, and I'm thinking, okay, this is alright, I'm doing better. The problem is, I gotta fly this point defense ship in my bombing runs. I don't want to do that. First of all, this guy's a little bit slower, so he lags behind. Secondly, he gets killed pretty quickly by plasma turrets. I'm rebuilding this guy all the time. So I thought, you know what? Let's take this guy and modify him and slap a point defense on the front of my battleship. Now I don't need my point defense boat. It's on every one of my battleships. So as you can see, I sacrificed a little bit of speed here. I wanted more range. So my reload, I'm not putting as much DPS on target. It's a little bit lower. It's a little bit lower than 53 here. It's down to 39, which is not that bad. The biggest thing is I wanted more range because I had to get too close to the enemy to get shots off on the enemy, and I was getting shot a lot. So I was taking too much damage and losing ships that way. But now I have point defense, so I'm good, right? It's a 360 point defense. The difference here is this is great for cheaper alternative to this for point defense weapons usually, but it cuts the range in half, and range on point defense is really important. I want to be able to shoot those missiles before they get closer, because I need to fire other missiles that are incoming as well. So with this setup and a range boosted point defense out at 337 meters for my point defense is unstoppable. This is the best ship I've seen in the game so far. I'm sorry, it is. No one can beat me yet that I've seen. People try to suicide me. It doesn't work. So that's pretty much how you play this game, and a little bit about ship design and some theory there. You can save all your setups in here, which is kind of neat. This is when I used to use a missile setup. Let me just pull this down. Well, I've already shown that to you pretty much. This was like a cheaper version, so I could get more DPS once I got my battleships all set up. These guys would take the damage. These guys would sit behind the battleships, just lob more missiles at the enemy. Here's that weird setup I had, which I actually need to move this out. This guy, my old point defense. Move him out. Also, I can move these guys out, I guess. Well, I can really delete those. I just saved these for the video. Now I can get rid of all that stuff. But that's pretty much my thinking behind this stuff. So here's something I really wanted to do. This ship's kind of fun. Reload speed with these EMP guns and draining all the energy out of your opponents was kind of fun. It moves pretty quickly. It's got a shield, which is nice. There's a lot of work to do with this, though. This is before I had this kind of a mentality. I could build some kind of battleships like this around this. That'd be kind of fun. Drain out your enemies and see what they do. Because a ship that has no energy is a sitting duck, and they're fun to just take pot shots at and get kills on them pretty easily. And they also have, oh yeah, energy drain per second. That's pretty neat. Now, I'm not sure exactly if I get the energy that it's draining. I think I do, but I'm not positive. At 6,000 per second, I'm pretty sure that's the case, because I probably should add some batteries to this ship. There's a couple of things I could do to make this ship better. Take the armor off, first of all. The armor's not really doing anything. It's just weighing me down. But I think that's my next endeavor, is to mess around with different kinds of ship weaponry and just see how I can tweak them and make some insane ships, right? But anyway, this is Istrolid. Tell me what you think about it. Leave a like and a favorite and comment and stuff if you like this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more of these kind of videos. I do these every couple months or every month. I want to try to do them more to show you guys new games that I'm finding. And I try to do them in between series, which right now I'm in between with Factorio being done. So anyway, let me know what you think. Like, favorite, share, all that stuff. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it. And as always, everyone, stay frosty.